I didn't drink because I loved alcohol. I drank because I wanted silence. ADHD had me chasing dopamine for survival, and alcohol gave me silence on a silver platter. I thought I was just calming down. I thought I was just coping with life. But what it really did, it took away everything that made me, me. This video isn't just about ADHD, it's about how alcohol took advantage of it. And I almost didn't catch it in time. Let's get into it. It felt like I found an off switch, but I didn't notice what was shutting down. Racing thoughts were silenced by alcohol, and at first it was amazing, but slowly I was in over my head. Nobody knew how hard inside of my head that I was just trying to be chill and just trying to fit in. I didn't know I had ADHD. I just thought I was broken and I had a lot of extra energy, and my brain just keeps spinning and whirring like an engine. When I was little, it looked like I was sidetracked all the time or almost lazy, but it's my brain thinking into situations and getting lost and daydreaming and stuff like that. I loved going outside, rollerblading, skateboarding, doing physical activities because it really helped my body and my brain. I always had trouble sleeping, trouble waking up, trouble just understanding when my brain was going to be active. I would always give myself constant shame for never doing anything right because of this overstimulation and me looking like I was lazy all the time. Loud noises, sudden sounds, bright flashing of lights, my body was always on edge, and it's because ADHD had my nervous system running a marathon. I didn't fall asleep. I eventually crashed after hours of overthinking every night. If I didn't exercise, it was like my brain was buzzing, and when I tried to go to sleep, it was like an engine that I couldn't turn off. I always felt misunderstood as a kid, being labeled lazy or unproductive, but it was my brain just daydreaming a lot and going and racing in different directions. And then I found something that slowed it all down. Alcohol quieted my mind. At first, it felt like medicine. The racing thoughts were gone. The overstimulation was numbed. Everything was quiet, and I loved it at first. For once, I could just be present, but what felt like peace was actually the beginning of destruction. With alcohol, my first real dopamine hit, it calmed me and it didn't hype me up. I could finally sit still and be at peace with my mind. That fake peace felt like a breakthrough, and it worked until it didn't. Drinking helped me socially calm my brain down, and it became a social lubricant. So I used it just to get along with everybody and kind of fit in. Very quickly, my drinking went from just on the weekends or here and there to daily drinking. In my brain, I wasn't getting drunk. I was trying to feel normal. I started drinking daily, and then I started drinking earlier in the day, every day, because my tolerance got so high. Drinking started taking over my days and all of my thoughts, and all of my energy I would start putting at drinking alcohol. I would look at it on TikTok, on social media. I would go buy it during the day, and I would prepare to make sure I had an allotted amount to last me a week or two. This is how quickly it takes over. I couldn't go an hour without thinking about alcohol when I was awake. I distanced all my good friends while I was drinking. I was just a recluse. I wanted to be in my own little numbed world. I felt like a ghost. I was numbed every day, just existing. And I kept filling myself with this fluid, thinking that it was a medicine. Slowly, ADHD didn't become a problem anymore. But my liver and my body and my mentality became a big problem. All of my emotions were gone. All of my drive, my purpose, the things that I did in this life, gone. I was just numbed. And it really felt great on the inside until destruction came. I was 36, and this first ER visit, I thought it was just anxiety, swelling, acid reflux, bad eating. It was liver failure. I was diagnosed with cirrhosis and stage 4 fibrosis. My MELD score was a 23. Doctors told me not to drink and to start looking for a gastroenterologist and a specialist because I'm probably going to need a liver transplant. One of the worst things that nobody talks about was hepatic encephalopathy. It's the brain fog, and it almost felt like dementia. I couldn't eat, I couldn't walk, I was yellow from head to toe, and my belly was swollen with fluid from the ascites. Alcohol didn't just quiet ADHD, it poisoned everything. When they told me I might not make it, all my emotions were still bottled up from drinking. I didn't know how to express that I was sad or scared at first. And what I did to survive, what I did out of desperation, I quit alcohol because I knew if I did not quit alcohol, my health was not going to keep me here to enjoy life. I quit not out of strength and resilience, I quit out of desperation. My body was shutting down, and I realized if I didn't stop drinking alcohol, I wouldn't be here anymore. Rehab? No. This was all done by me laying in bed debilitated with no appetite, and with my support group, my wife, and my family. I had to rethink nutrients and water and everything I was putting into my body, and I had to learn what my body wanted again. In physical therapy, I finally got to where I could walk without shaking, and I got my ankles strong enough to stand. There was a good year or two during this turnaround when I had to cut all the noise and just let my body rest. Every 3 hours, I had to force myself into eating food or drinking a protein shake. And sure enough, meal by meal, snack by snack, protein shake by protein shake, I was getting a little bit stronger every day. I finally refound out how I can work out during the day and get into a healthy thinking process without relying on alcohol. My ADHD, I thought went away. It finally came back, and I can face it with all raw emotions now. And a lot of it's hard. All these emotions, the sadness, the struggle, it's very hard, but that's part of living. And with alcohol, it numbs it all, but it numbs it in a very unhealthy way to where you can't even enjoy the simple things in life because it's numbing everything. I started getting into healthy supplements like milk thistle, dandelion root, just a daily vitamin. I would do fish oil. A lot of it is mindfulness, thinking on what we put in our body. What is going through my liver? Everything we smell, we inhale, everything we eat, we drink, everything goes through our liver. Even stuff can get absorbed through our skin and get processed through our liver. With everything I was doing, my labs improved and my MELD went from a 23 to an 8, and doctors were very impressed. They then removed me from the medications and took me off the transplant list. I try to walk 2 miles a day. I work out at the gym 3 to 4 times a week. I eat well, and I watch what goes into my body. I got my relationships back, and I got my creativity back. A lot of the graphic designing and editing, I love to do this stuff, and I'm enjoying it again. I still have ADHD, but now I work with it. I don't try to just numb it all the time, and I found that that was the problem. I was trying to escape something that is just me, but now I want me back, and I'm happy to have me back. I found that without alcohol, sobriety is amazing. This life, I wouldn't change it for anything. I would never give this back for alcohol. It's sort of a miracle that I made it back, but it's also a brutal rebuild of my life. I'm still living with cirrhosis, but I got off the transplant list within 6 months. I didn't take care of myself before, and it was not self-care. It was destruction on my body and my character. What I did to my body was not self-care or medicate. It was destruction disguised as peace. If you've got ADHD and you're using alcohol to cope with this, please hear me out. You're not weak. Your brain is starving for dopamine, and alcohol fakes it. It feels like medicine, but it bankrupts your system. You'll lose your health, your future, everything, maybe even your life. I'm not anti-alcohol. I'm pro-awareness. I got a second chance, and I'm not wasting it. You can still live. You can dream big. You can feel joy again, but not if you're using alcohol to cope with life. I'd like to give a shout out to all my support group, my friends, my family, everybody who donated and provided food, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here. This was my story, and if any of it felt familiar, you're not alone. Subscribe to see the rest of my journey.